Rightio, so here we are, back off week off work, so going to get stuck into the AA build. Going to, first jobs first is, I want to get this cab mounted this week, so what I've actually got to do before I get started on any of that sort of stuff is the cab mounts themselves on the original chassis need a bit of attention. As you can probably see there, it's sad, not all of them, but yeah, that one's really good. The couple on the front here need the outers on the front need a bit of attention. The inners are good, yeah, it's buggered, so yeah. So first job first, I'll rip in, get those cab mounts on the chassis tidied up, and yeah, work towards getting the cab mounted. Once it's locked down in its position, I'll work towards getting the radiator support in its right position, and get the sheet metal sitting where it's supposed to be sitting. Then I got to repair the guard mounting holes. They're all tore up, so yeah, there's my new cab mounts. So yeah, I'll rip into it. Right, so I just got that side plate welded in there. So now I'll just sand them back. Then I'll get my hole saw kit, 35mm internal diameter one. So yeah, run that through, measure up where it's got to go, run that through, and yeah, work back towards the front, get into them front ones then. So. Alright, so I got that cleaned up, got the spot marked where I need to drill that cab mount hole. So I'll yeah, the old spot wheel, the old hole saw drill out, yeah, knock that out, and that should be that mount good to go. So get into that. Got that, yeah, you got that hole drilled, so let's see what it looks like. Hey, it's gonna work. Alrighty, well, that's one down, so probably gonna have to take this front sheet metal back off. Yeah, get this cab pushed back so I can repair them front ones properly. So I just had these tacked on here the other day. As you can see, I can't bolt them up, they're all tore up. So yeah, I'll knock them tacks off, get this front sheet metal off, and yeah, walk that cab back on the chassis, hopefully, somehow. Or I might even lift it up with a hoist yet. That might be an option, so yeah, we'll work on that. Alright, so back from town. Just went and yeah, spent some money. Got the hook up from my brother at Welders Mart there. Just went and picked up a new 200 amp AC DCT. Yeah, gonna be a big help on this build with all the body panel stuff and that. Yeah, just picked up some steel stuff to do the cab mounting with. It's got some angle line there. I've got the storage card that I just had in here before went flat, but I went ahead and repaired all the body mounts here on both sides. So I end up did the front 4. So I did 5 out of the 6. So yeah, they're ready to go. So yeah, I might unbox this TIG and get to work setting up this cab mount arrangement. And yeah, I got a thinking about making another bench to help me out. This was originally going to be for the better jigsaw there, but it just ended up being way too heavy. So I'm thinking about chucking some legs on it and making a bit of a fab bench out of it for us. So yeah, I'll rip open this TIG and yeah, get myself set up and yeah, get to work on mounting this cab. lift that up. We'll get these bits of angle drilled. Yeah, what we're going to do is sit those bits of angle on there like that. Yeah, drill the mounts, and then we're going to run RHS straight back, basically like this. Oh, yep, knock everything around. Something sort of like that. Yeah, obviously make everything all the right angles and round everything off and pretty it up. But yeah, something like that, and then we'll once we got those made, got this frame bolted down both sides either end, and then we'll pick up the Dodge cab mount on top of them, and then she should be mounted. So yeah, I'll get into drilling these angle line and prepping this RHS up, getting it cut to length, and yeah, get into it. Oh yeah, so I got those plates knocked up. That worked out pretty well. I've yeah, cut that RHS and set it in there. I've got it drilled on this end as well. It's bolted down. I haven't lowered down the cab yet, so I'm about to find out what that all looks like. So yeah, let's set these down over here and go and lower this hoist down. So yeah, gonna work out what it looks like together. Oh yeah, so looks like what I thought was yeah, it's hitting on these on the factory Dodge cab mounts there. So I'll work out what I'm going to do there. I'm half tempted to trim the ends off them. Yeah, get the cab to fall till it basically hits that RHS, and then yeah, make some outriggers bolt into the cab mount, Dodge cab mount, back to the RHS. That's what I'm sort of thinking potentially at this point. I mean, I could try and move these in a little bit, because I can do that. I can trim them up a bit more, move them in till we gain the clearance we need. But I sort of like them in the position they're in. So yeah, gonna have a bit more of a think about that, and yeah, we'll see what that looks like after I work out what I'm doing. Get back into it. Alright, yeah, so I trimmed those factory Dodge cab mounts down a little bit, and then she's sitting basically where I want it, nearly on the floor of the cab there. So that's good enough for me for now. Looking at the back, it's going to work out pretty good too. Where the rear cab mounts end up just under here, what I'm able to do is actually I'm going to make a rail, put a cross member between that rail and that rail over there, and I'll just drill straight up, pick up those factory international cab mounts at the rear there, and there, that'll make it really simple then. What I'm going to do right now is I'm in the process, I'm just going to got to fix up the way the front sheet metal bolts on. it's all tore up over here. So yeah, I'm just going to cut these pieces out on both sides, remake them, drill them. Same as on the cab here. They've yeah, they're all tore out, so just got to fix them up because I've got to get the sheet metal, the front sheet metal hung and set properly before I finally mount the cab, because I've got to get it centered over the front axle and get the height of the cab on the chassis set correct too. So yeah, first things first, fix up these front guards where they mount and where they mount on the body, get them hung, and yeah, go from there. Alright, yeah, so it's the next morning. Not sure I filmed up to yesterday, but I've got the repairs done to the top of the guards where they mount on the body, and I repaired the body, the same mounts on the body there, both sides. So I've got the sheet metal hung on there, and it's roughly sort of where I want it. I haven't sanded back those welds there yet, but yeah, everything's looking pretty close. So what I'm going to do is make the brackets to hang the front sheet metal. Yeah, pick up those bolts there and go back to the factory radiator supporting the Holden chassis. So yeah, that's probably next project, get that happening. As long as just got to double check where the cab, where the front center line of the front axle is in relation to the guard, make sure that's centered, and then yeah, hang that radiator support, and then I can yeah, lock down the cab height and position on the chassis. So yeah, that's my first project, and I get stuck into it. Right, yeah, so yeah, I went ahead and decided that's what I'm going to do. So I've made a plate to pick up them two bolts there. These are just roughly cut out at the moment. I'll trim them up a bit nicer later. So yeah, I've made the two brackets to pick up the original Holden radiator support mounts. I just got to make another plate for the other side, and like I say, I'll run some 40x40, pick up them plates. What I'm doing now is just taking a heap of measurements of where the cab is, where the sheet metal is in relation to everything, trying to get it nice and square. So what I'm going to do now is just tack weld this left hand side rail, because it's in the position where I want, and the body mount has been clearanced sort of exactly, yeah, sitting nice on the chassis. This right hand side, it needs to be moved to the outside a little bit, and the body mount needs a little bit of clearance. So it's going to tack that left hand side first, and lift the body up, move that rail to where I want it, tack it into position, and trim that Dodge body mount out, and then yeah, set the cab back on. Hopefully it's nice and square. Once that's square and I'm happy with where that's sitting, then I'm going to put these that bit of 40x40 RHS in and make the radiator support mounts and get all that locked down. So yeah, going to get into it. Oh yeah, back again, another day. Yeah, the GoPro decided to have a bit of a spaz out yesterday, so couldn't film anymore. But what I ended up doing was yeah, finishing off those radiator support brackets. They're not finalised. I probably have to actually change the height of them, because I've in turn I've lowered decided I want to lower the cab a bit more. So yeah, they're not fully welded up or anything, but they were holding the front end up. So yeah, I wasn't happy with where the cab height was. I got the thing on wheels. Obviously hasn't got an engine or anything in it yet, but I got it on wheels, and I wasn't happy with yeah, rider. So yesterday I started actually recessed that bottom end a bit at the rear. I've yet to I've got to drop the front. I'm going to yeah, notch that a little bit, probably take an inch out and drop that down. Yeah, obviously do the same on the other side. Then going to sit the cab back on it, see if I'm a bit happy with that ride height. I'm thinking I will be, and then by the time yeah, the motor and all that goes in, it'll get it a bit closer to the ground. I just I don't want it too low. I sort of want it in a happy sort of spot where it can go up or down, depending on what the owner, yeah, how high he wants it. So yeah, first job, gonna yeah, recess this left hand side, get it sitting back on, then duplicate it on the right hand side, and sit the cab back on. And if I'm happy with that, yeah, set the front sheet metal back on, modify them radio support brackets, and yeah, go from there. So yeah, first job, do this left hand rail and get into it. Okay, so I've got both them rails cut down as to how I was talking about before. I haven't tacked that in yet, but yeah, I have recessed that, cut that out, it's all sitting together. I've got to tighten everything down on the mounts, but what I'm doing at the moment is making, I've got to cut out some blocks and make some mounts to bolt to the factory rear cab mount point on the cab, and then it's just going to drop down on these rails and I'll weld that down. So what I'm going to do, I don't have any 50x25, I've got some 40x40, so I'm probably going to make some blocks out of it, and yeah, weld some captive nuts inside, bolt them to the cab, and then yeah, set it down, weld the block in place, and that'll be the rear cab mount. It's done, pretty straightforward looking like it. So yeah, I'll yeah, get into making those rear blocks and set it all back together, measure it all up, and yeah, tack it down hopefully. Alright, so I've lowered it down. I'm a lot happy with it, but I'm kind of thinking I still want to go a bit lower with it. From the changes I've made, I've ended up this body mount's coming into contact with the chassis now, so what I'm going to do is notch that out both sides. I'm going to get rid of that spacer, and there's a couple of bits of like daggy metal that are holding this body up a bit more still. What I'm thinking is and lift the cab back off, get rid of all those little dags. Yeah, by getting rid of those bits, probably going to gain 10 millish thereabouts, I'm hoping. And if I get that, I'll probably be pretty happy with where the cab's sitting. So that's what I'm thinking. I'll do that, lift the cab back up, cut them bits out, set it back down, and if I gain about 10 mil, I think I'll be pretty happy with where it is. Yeah, obviously don't have the motor in at the moment, but anticipating the drop with the engine, and I should be pretty happy with the ride height. So yeah, cab back up and more cutting. Oh yeah, after spending way too long getting these cab mounts off due to seized, broken bolts, yeah, that's done. Got them sitting back up in there, cleaned up. Both rails are all welded out and dressed up, bolted back on, as you've probably seen before. So they're good to go. I've made little, I didn't have any 50x25 RHS, so I ended up having them cut and shut some 40x40, and I've welded some yeah, captive nuts inside, so they're going to pick up this rail when we lower it down. Yeah, one on that side as well. So, and on the front here, the idea is there's 75 for RHS. When the cab's lowered back down, It's no longer running the Dodge rubber mount, the cab mount, that's all gone. This is going to sit in its place, like so. When the cab's lowered down, this is going to line up with there in a fashion, and yeah, that'll be welded to the chassis. And what'll happen up here is this will have 3 bolts through it. I don't know if I have 2 or 3. 1, 2, 3 probably. And yeah, that'll bolt that to that, and they'll be welded to there. So yeah, you'll unbolt the cab from there, and 2 bolts on that side, 2 bolts on that side, and then the cab. That's what mounts the cab, and it's all rubber mounted through the Holden rubber. So, oh yeah, gonna lower him down, and yeah, probably take a heap of measurements to try and get it squared up so I can get these mounts tacked on. There you go, lad, run out of water in the middle of the job. There you go, lad, run out of water in the middle of the job.